It's not even down to attitude. We, in our mind state, are able to perceive. We have perception. It's my perception of the world. It's my perception of how I see it, how I live in it, how I experience it, how I will deal with it. It's my perception. It's mingled with other past and present associations with family members, past, and the involvement of their mind, teachers at school, newspapers, television, culture, the involvement of their perceptions, it intertangles or intermingles with the perceptions that I was born with. This I was born with, and has realized that the perceptions are born from the emotions. They're born from the spontaneity or the reactive experience to that what is taking place within the body, out with the body, in the mind, in the fantasy, and a parent past, and a possible future. All of this is going on. This perception of life is going on. So in a very simple way, in a human way, we can say, well, my idea of dealing with, say, a person who commits a crime is possible community service, depending on the type of crime, possibly prison. But in a country across the world, their attitude is, or their solution is to that death penalty. So do I agree with that, you see? Do I agree with that? Well, it has absolutely nothing to do with me. So we have people who go into positions to make decisions based on the country and try and mix with other countries and their representatives and try and bring the perception of our culture and our world and our beliefs and our systems and our religion and our spirituality in line with yours, and we have to kind of make a new order from the both intermingling. So, and then we have to feed it out to the people of each of our countries. So what happens is they make up, they don't go under the television screen. They're far too busy and important and not able to communicate as effectively as they say they are. So what they do is they make up rules and guidelines and regulations that change some of the culture. And the expectations is that people should just do it. It's as simple as that. You just have to do it. So the change that they're creating is not change happening on its own. It is an organized, structured change due to a few people who want to bring a united world together. So the idea behind it, the objective behind it, the aim is in our compassionate, emotional self is it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. And it's not the idea of doing it, it's the way it's done, you see. You have many people who have been through 4 or 5 generations who have been encouraged to continue with the culture, and then suddenly there's a change. And of course the idea from the people who make these changes is, oh, I never thought about that, you know. But it's just life. Is it life, or is it just humans trying to create and tamper and improve and mess up with nature, with life? Nature being our pure self, nature being this body, nature being Um, all living entities. It's a mess, you see. The attitude to try and um, come to terms with it is the same attitude as having to fight against it. It's a no win, no lose situation. Either way you look at it. Therefore, you then start seeking inside, and this longing comes and says, what the hell are you going to do about this life? But it doesn't come as a threat or as a question. It comes from something far more profound, far more able. Let's not deal with this anymore. This opposing values, this attitude and values and measurements and analysis and attachments and beliefs and hopes and judgment. Let's just look at it from the pure source of what you are, your original childlike nature. And of course, if you say that out loud, if you come onto YouTube or speak to your partner or your family and say, look, I'm going to go back to my childhood nature, they say, well, I'm going to phone the mental hospital because that's not the way it's done. We have to go this way or that way. So you keep it quiet, you see, you remain quiet. And anything that you see at that point, anything that you experience, that you hear, taste, touch, is now on your side. Not the mind, not the communication, not the words, not the language, not what the projected others are trying to tell you, because you're shut down to that, you see, you're shut down to that. So everything is saying keep quiet. Even the telephone that rung constantly stops ringing. Even the door that kept knocking, someone kept knocking on the door, the postman, the milkman, the neighbor, the friend, no more knocking. Even the alarm clock does not go off in the morning, it stops, it shuts down. Even your family, they seem to be away on holiday at that moment in time. They all go away, they all leave you. Even your work colleagues, they stop bothering you. They stop asking you for specific jobs to do. Even the television, it switches itself off and it doesn't go on. And when it's on, there's no one watching it. There's no one at home, they call it, you know. I'm looking at you, Mr. Popsy, but there's no one at home. No, because you've disappeared. You've taken the attitude that I don't trust anything, even the good and the bad. And it's a very dangerous situation because it's kind of like the dark night of the soul, because if everything does not switch off, you start getting angry and start fighting because something is calling you inside and the rest of the world is stopping you, stopping this meeting. So it has to be timed to perfection, any awakening. So you're not the one that times it. You see, consciousness times it. If you want to call it Christ, Buddha, whatever your religion is, whatever your faith is, they're all, the faith that you follow, that you think you are following, is following you. Every moment of every day, every atom and every molecule is coming into your body, looking and waiting for that right moment to eat you up, eat your mind up, eat your ego up. There's no attitude or values or systems or society or I's or me's or you's at this moment. There's just nothing. And this is the dark night of the soul, where you give up and surrender to something that is not external, something is not a thought, something is not an imagination, something is not a belief. This thing is not a practice. This thing is not a method. You give up to life. You say, I give up to life. I don't have the authority or the attitude or the interest to take my life, because that's me taking my life, you see. When I give up to life, I say, let life do what it wants to with this body, with whatever I am. And this is a surrender, you see. This is the giving up. The giving up and the surrender is not through negativity, not through a way of not able, not able, not able. I give up. I surrender. I'm not giving up because I want to die. I'm giving up because I don't know what to do. And I don't know what to do says to itself, don't do anything. Just let everything take its own course. You're surrendering to life. You're actually giving authority to the whole of existence to do what it wants with you. So surrendering is the most courageous and the most offering. I kind of put it like if you were your child was in danger, the young child was in danger and it was possibly going to die, and you say, you don't even think about what's going on. You just push your child out of the way and you go and you face whatever it is that that child was going to face. And you have no thoughts about what's going to happen. You have no thoughts about the outcome. You have no expectations. You just say, whatever it is, take me. Take this me. Is this an attitude, or is this just something that happens on its own? You see, my most favorite guru that brings you to the door of awakening and forces your mind into such an angry state as U.G. Krishnamurti. And U.G. Krishnamurti will tell you nothing is happening. There's no one talking. Right now there is. But in that moment, there's no one saying to the child, go to the side. I will deal with it. There's no thought. There's not even someone taking any action. It is very spontaneous and very natural. It's like you become the lion protecting the cub. The lion doesn't have a conference. The lion doesn't go in fear. The lion doesn't go in awe of what might happen. The lion just says, this is how it shall be. And this is a non-attitude awakening. I don't know how I got to this point, but you know what? I don't know why I'm still here. Something just keeps calling. Something keeps saying, speak, come speak, just speak. What do you speak? What do you want me to speak about? I don't want you to speak about anything. I just want things to happen. I don't want you following a good path and the bad path. I just want you to be here, present and aware and unexpecting of what's going to happen next, and none needful and desirable of what's going to happen next, and no expectations of anyone listening. It's just cold presence. The one moment. The one moment is here and now. This one moment that eats you up, devours your mind and spits you out and says, now you're newborn. Get on with his life. Don't follow Christ. Don't follow Buddha. Don't follow anything. Even U.G. Krishnamurti don't follow it anymore. They've taken you to the path. They've taken you to the door. Stay on this side. And you say, but that's taking a side. And this voice says, but this side that I'm talking about has no sides. And your educational schooling mind says, what the fuck? And then the one inside says, ignore that. Ignore. Be ignorant of any voice, anything that's taking place in your life. Just be here and let life take you into whatever nook and cranny we call it in our country, whatever space, whatever place, whatever corner of the room, whatever universe, whatever form that you appear to be in. Let life do it on its own. Don't make any judgment, you see. And that's what the Bible says. Non-judgmental. Don't make any judgment. on what's taking place with you. Your mind will always make judgment on what's taking place in the world outside, but don't make any judgment in you. When you start making judgment on you, you start thinking, I like myself or I dislike myself. I love myself or I hate myself. I am tall or I am small. I am a name or I am unidentified. There's nothing about you that is any interest to anyone else in this world except what you have experienced. And people will come in droves to see to listen about the experience. And that's why you sit here every day, slowly, bit by bit, like Krishnamurtis, like Watts and Ramana and Vedantas and Buddhists and Thich Nhat Hanh. They're not here to enlighten anyone. They're here to break down the mind of division, the mind of destruction, the mind of I, me, the person, the one that sits here and will die, is broken down. And what it breaks itself down to is no dying, infinite living, infinite being, infinite now, infinitely here as here-ness.